Hi, hello, and welcome to my channel. I do have a little bit of a special guest today, Mr. Jack-o'-lantern. I want it to be like extra festive for October, so I got this little like trick-or-treat bucket, and also because I'm a crazy person, I did go ahead and redo all of my prompts to make them black and be more festive as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. If you're new to my channel, this is my TBR cart, and I did kind of rearrange my books a little bit because I did recently do a really massive like fall book haul, but then also I did kind of take away some of the books because I do only plan on reading like thrillers, darker fantasy, horror. I love a good theme, so I did kind of take away some of the books that just didn't fit that kind of description. But anyway, let's go ahead and pull our first prompt. I do think I'm gonna pull probably 7 or so. If we're feeling like adding some more, maybe I'll do more. I don't really know. We're gonna just kind of see where the wind takes us. And let's pull our first prompt. Our very first prompt is a book with pink on the cover. I already know exactly what book I'm gonna pick. We're gonna do Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey. Is this not like the most fun cover? This is basically a horror book about a haunted house, I think. Actually, it's not. It's about a girl that has to come back home and her dad is like a serial killer, or was a serial killer. Coming home is hard enough for Vera, and to make things worse, she and her mother aren't alone. A parasitic artist has moved into the guest house out back and is slowly stripping Vera's childhood for spare parts. He insists that he isn't the one leaving notes around the house in her father's handwriting, but who else could it possibly be? So it kind of seems maybe a little bit haunted house vibes, but then also the element of her dad being a serial killer. So this sounds like a lot of fun. This is actually a horror book that I got last year, and I just have never gotten around to reading it. And one of my friends actually just bought this book as well, and we kind of decided to buddy read it together. So first book on our TBR shelf. All right, so prompt number 2. Get something good. Let's do this one. And I'm gonna put him up here so you can kind of see him. All right, so this one says, ooh, this one's fun. This one is Random Number Generator picks a book on my Amazon wish list. So this one actually has a very good chance of not getting something spooky seasoned. Also too, I have like a quadrillion and 1 books on my Amazon wish list. So I have to count them really quickly. It's a few minutes later. I started counting my wish list and it got into like the 200s, and the majority of them were not fitting the bill of the spooky season that I want this TBR to be. So I actually ended up making an entirely separate list. So we're gonna set the generator to 1 through 36 because there are 36 books in our new spooky season list. And let's go ahead and generate a number. So number 13, which is kind of perfect for Halloween. Now I'm in my Amazon list, and we're actually going to go from the bottom to the top. Because of the way that I added them to the list, the ones at the top of this list are the ones that are like the oldest on my wish list overall, if that makes sense. And I would prefer to pick a book from, you know, the newer ones that I've added versus the oldest ones that have been there for a while. We're gonna go up. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So the 13th book on our list is Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. I apparently didn't explain what any of these books are about, so I'll be popping in every once in a while to do so, starting with this book, which is essentially about haunted IKEA, and that sounds like a lot of fun. Prompt number 3. We're gonna go with this one because it was like hooked on my finger and didn't want to let go. So this one says a book with mythical creatures, and that's definitely a fun one. That means fantasy. So let's see. Does a ghost count? If a ghost counts, we have plenty of options. Oh, we have this one. There is this book. This is Tiny Nightmares, and it's basically very short tales of horror. So it's a horror book, but it's like short stories. In the synopsis, it does say broken-hearted vampires, Uber-taking serial killers, and mind-reading witches. So it definitely has some mythological creatures. On that same note, I also have Never Whistle at Night, and this is basically another collection of short stories. Many indigenous people believe that one should never whistle at night. It can cause evil spirits to appear and even follow you home. These wholly original and shiver-inducing tales introduce readers to ghosts, curses, hauntings, monstrous creatures, complex family legacies, desperate deeds, and chilling acts of revenge. Introduced and contextualized by best-selling author Stephen Graham Jones, these stories are a celebration of Indigenous peoples' survival and imagination, and a glorious reveling in all the things an ill-advised whistle might summon. And the cover of this is super adorable, but this also just sounds super cool. So I think we're gonna pick between these two because the rest of my books are mostly just like ghosts or like murderers. Your average everyday murderer. I'm really excited about both of these, but this one I'm like extra excited about. So we'll do Never Whistle at Night. Try to wiggle that back in. This little lip on this shelf is very inconvenient. All right, prompt number 3. Let's go ahead. Let's pick this one. A cover with the same color as your shirt, which we're wearing all black today to be festive. So that's gonna be very easy. The majority of these covers have black on them. I almost wanna like save this to the end because I have like so many options for this one. So we have If You Were Villains, The Witches of New York. All of Our Demise is kind of more fantasy. Ooh, we have this one, Don't Let It In. I freaking love this cover. It's not like the blackest cover ever, but it's definitely got some black on there. Survive the Night by Riley Sager. We have Manhunt. This one, The Word is Murder, which is like a murder mystery. We have Mary, Grady Hendrix. Like the list goes on and on. I'm just gonna do this. That's like the one I wouldn't want out of all of these books. I'm just gonna wait till the end to do this one because we have too many options and I don't want to like screw myself over for a later prompt. So we're just gonna save that for later and pull our next prompt. This is number 5. Whoop, okay. We're gonna put that one back and grab this one. This one like flew over there. All right, so this one says, a book that matches the current season. Perfect. I feel like for this one, the ones that give me like the most fall vibes, I think would be like If We Were Villains, and then the Grady Hendrix How to Sell a Haunted House. I think because of like the orange and the black, it gives me very like fall type of vibes. Same kind of thing with Survive the Night. This one kind of has like fall colors. Also, it has like trees in the background that are dead, so more kind of fall. Actually, you know what? That's the one we're gonna do. We're gonna do Survive the Night by Riley Sager. This one also gives me fall vibes though. The Witches of New York. I think this one. We're gonna stick with this one. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't actually heard the best reviews for this book, but I'm still really excited for it. I read a couple of Riley Sager books last year and I really liked them. And this one is basically about 2 college students that are essentially trapped in a car together. And one of them, Josh, starts acting funny and the female character, Charlie, has to basically survive their trip. So, I don't know, it sounds good to me. All right, prompt number 6. I'm probably making so much noise by rattling these around. Okay, we'll try this one. This one says, a book with a person on the cover. Okay. Again, we have several options. We have My Murder, which is about someone solving their own murder. And then we also have My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. There's actually several people on this cover, but I think because we already have a Grady Hendrix book, we're not gonna pick this one. Oh, this one actually also has a person on the cover. This is The Gathering Dark, and it's an anthology of folk horror. So it's another like horror short story collection of folklore. And I definitely want to read this year, but I don't think this is the one we're gonna pick. I kind of already have one in mind, but I want to show you the options. And then we have this one, which is a slasher. This is called Them. And we've got, actually, you know what? I think this is an alien, not a person. So never mind, that's not an option. And then this one is How to Be Eaten, and we have a teeny tiny little Red Riding Hood. But I think the book that we're going to pick for this prompt is Mary, and we have a person taking a bath. Mary is actually at the top of my reading list for this season because it does seem to be a book that a lot of horror fans love, and as someone that's pretty new to horror, I think it would be a really good place to start. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know what this book is about. Even after reading the back of the book, it just kind of basically talks about a middle-aged woman who starts hearing voices in her head, urging her to do unspeakable things. And at the very bottom of the synopsis, it says, then the killings begin again. So I'm assuming that this is kind of like maybe a possession kind of thing or a serial killer thing. I don't know, but I'm very excited to find out. On to our 7th prompt, which is technically our last one, but we'll see. I think I want to do more. All right, we have a book on display at your library. This is definitely a fun one. I was kind of hoping I would get this one. I knew my library had books on display, but I didn't realize how many. There were so many books to choose from, which is fantastic. That being said, I did end up basically grabbing the first book that I saw, which is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I've been wanting to read this since last year, and I figured what better time than now. It's essentially one of those like murder mysteries where everyone's trapped in the same location and you have to figure out which one of them did it. Those are like my favorite types of thrillers, so I feel pretty good that I'm gonna like this one. But even though I did find a book, I still kept kind of searching around, and in the young adult section, I actually found quite a bit of books on display, but also this little gem, which is called Between Worlds. I've never heard of this book before, and honestly, I didn't even read the synopsis. I just saw these really cool end pages and the fact that it has like illustrations throughout the book, so we grabbed that as well. Our little TBR shelf is looking a little sad, so let's go ahead and pull some more. Why not? This one, a book with an animal on the cover. Again, we have How to Be Eaten. We do have a big wolf head on that one. We also have this one, Death Comes to Marlowe, which is the second book in the Marlowe Murder Club series. I just recently finished the first book in this series, and it was really, really cute. It's basically about like a group of, have I been saying what the books are about? This is basically about a random group of women within a community kind of like running around solving crimes. And this one has what I'm assuming is supposed to be like a dead duck. Even though this one is like a murder mystery, I feel like it doesn't fit the theme of October enough. So I think we're gonna save that one. And then again, we have If We Were Villains, which also has a dead bird on the cover. We totally also have Foxglove, which has a fox and a bird. Again, dead. Apparently dead birds are like the thing to put on covers. This is one of like my most anticipated reads for the fall season. I am so excited. I read Belladonna a couple of months ago, I think, and I freaking loved it. I really want my October TBR to be like full of spooky books, and I feel like that's not spooky enough. So we're gonna pick between these two, which, you know what? I'm gonna do How to Be Eaten. I feel like this one just like looks more like a Halloween book, so we're gonna do this one. That took me way too long to figure out. Okay. I think that's gonna be it for the prompts that we pull, but we do still have our black book to pick. So let's pick that. I do have like a little collection of slashers. I feel like our TBR so far has a good mixture of horror and thriller, and we're missing some slashers. So let's go ahead and pick one of these. So we have Cirque Berserk, which is basically about like a carnival massacre. Then we have Taste Like Candy, which again, I think is another carnival massacre. And then we have Them, which is about like an alien invasion, I think, or something like that. And then we have two books that feature clowns, which are my least favorite thing. Not really my least favorite, but it's pretty high up there. We have Clown in a Cornfield, and then we also have The Cotton Candy Massacre. I don't actually know if this is a slasher. Clown in a Cornfield says, winner of the 2020 Bram Stoker Award for Superior Achievement in a Young Adult Novel. So this one's actually young adult, and it's horror, which I didn't know was a thing. For someone that's kind of like a novice in the genre, I feel like this one might be a little bit more palatable for me. And then this one, The Cotton Candy Massacre, has literally the coolest cover ever. And then also I really like that title. I think we're gonna go with this one because I just really like the cover of this one. Honestly, I plan on reading probably the majority of the books on this middle shelf here. I have like too many reading plans for this month. Honestly, I physically don't think I have enough time in the month to read everything that I want to read, but we're gonna try our best. And as of right now, here's our little stack of our TBR books that we're gonna be reading for October. We have Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey, Never Whistle at Night, the book from our Amazon wish list, which was Horror Store by Grady Hendrix, Survive the Night by Riley Sager, and then we have the book that we picked out from the library, Mary, An Awakening of Terror by Nat Cassidy, How to Be Eaten by Maria Adelman, and last but not least, we have The Cotton Candy Massacre by Christopher Robertson. And that is everything that I have for this video. This was super, super fun. I freaking love doing TBR videos. And like I said, I have so many fun plans for this month, so stay tuned, subscribe if you're not already, and yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you have had the most amazing of days, and I will hopefully see you guys in the next one. Bye!